LR Ribrianne is coming, and with her returns the pity system. But should you summon? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Part 2 LR Ribrianne, Kakunsa, and Rozie for the Tournament of Power celebration with the Tournament of Power androids. This is a surprise pick for them, although I guess it does make sense when you consider they were the villain counterpart to the scene used in the Tournament of Power androids. So I mean, that's neither here nor there. Either way, in this video we are going to take a look at whether or not you should spend your hard-earned stones for Ribrianne, Kakunsa, and Rozie. As always, in order to determine that, we will take a look at the unit itself. Is the unit good enough to justify a summon on the banner? Then we will take a look at their banner, who's available, what can you summon, and determine whether or not that constitutes a summon on your stones. And then finally we'll take a look at what lies ahead. If we choose to summon on Ribrianne, what are we giving up in the near future? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the unit itself. So she is a special power of wishes, category key 4, HP attack defense 150%. Pretty standard for a yellow coin LR, but you're probably not using her as lead in most cases, right? She does have a 12 key super attack that raises her attack and defense for the turn, causing colossal damage. She also greatly raises attack and defense on her 18 key while causing mega colossal damage. So her passive is all about that orb changing. She has an entrance animation that activates once only. It changes STR, AGL, and Fizz key spheres to tech key spheres for 1 turn from her entry turn, and gets key 3 for 3 turns from the entry turn when there are 2 or more tournament of participants allies on the character's entry turn. She gets key 3 and attack and defense 122%. She changes STR key spheres to tech unconditionally. She has a medium that is a 30% chance to change AGL to tech and a 30% chance to change Fizz to tech key spheres. So very, very good on the orb changing there. It's a very easy way to get the field covered the way you need. This really helps out a lot of units that are on her team. She does launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack if HP is 66% or more when attacking. She launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack when there's another Universal Survival Saga category ally attacking in the same turn, or when facing a USS enemy. She also has an additional 122 and reduces damage received by 22% when attacking, plus an additional key 2 per or with 2 or more tech key spheres, type key spheres rather, obtained. She also has a chance of performing a critical hit, 22%, for every 2 key spheres obtained, up to 66%. So looking at this passive, you can see she's actually pretty decent. I don't know that you're necessarily running her specifically on tournament participants, the androids team, simply because, I mean, aside from the androids themselves, there aren't too many characters that really need the orbs that would benefit from her orb changing, aside from herself, of course. So where I feel that she really shines is on the Power of Wishes team, specifically on teams that center around building up the Z Spirit Bomb, a standby skill that requires a lot of orbs to be picked up, right? Like, imagine you have at least 2 turns with her on rotation while building that bomb. There's a chance you're going to be changing a lot of orbs in that build-up, meaning that you're going to be able to launch a pretty powerful spirit bomb. She only needs 1 other USS ally attacking in the turn. And, on the Z Duos team, that's pretty easy to pull off if you're running them. on their Power of Wishes lead, or even running them under the GT duo, and however you set it up, she really does benefit that team a lot. I think more so than the Universal Survival Saga team. With that said, I mean, I still don't know that the unit itself is worth a summon, right? Everything that this unit is doing is great, but it's nothing her team's really needed. They are just a nice addition that really kind of send that team a little bit forward. Give it that little more oomph, if you will. So, as far as the unit itself, that is a no in the category for summon based on the unit. But as always, these units don't exist on a vacuum. If you're summoning for her, you're summoning for her on her banner, which actually, for a legendary summon banner, isn't all that bad, specifically because this is a guaranteed shot at pulling, well, maybe not guaranteed, but pretty darn close, and we'll talk about why that is in a second, right? When we look at the banner, we have Bulma returning on this banner, and that is instant skyrocket the value of this banner. Add on to the fact that it is a legendary summon banner, which means you can pull any of these LRs all the way up to the most recent yellow coin LR on here, which I believe is actually before her is actually Bulma, isn't it? For global. Oh, I guess Triku, where's he at? Is he on here? Yeah, right here. So up to Triku is available on the banner, which is pretty much all the yellow coin LRs that we've gotten. So pretty good deal. Add on to that the fact that this is a pity coin banner. So for every 5 Dragon Stones, you get 1 pity coin, meaning 10 pity coins per multi-summon. Now, in order to pick up a unit with pity, this basically means after X amount of multis, you can trade in those coins and pick up yourself a copy of the LR Ribrianne without having to go necessarily too deep. Now, I believe the exchange rate is 200 of the pity coins, so it's actually not that much. That is about 1,000 stones spent. So if you're a low to play player or pay to play player, that's honestly not that bad. Add on to that, if this follows the same path as the Triku banner and the way it did on JP, there will be a sort of a semi-discount step-ups. The way it'll work is basically you do 2 multis. Your third multi is a guaranteed featured, right? And then I think you can do that up to 7 times. By the time you get to that point, you should be pretty close to the pity coin requirement by finishing all of the guaranteed featured steps, right? You'll be pretty close to the requirement for picking up the character with the pity coins. Now, again, I don't think many people should go that far into the banner, but it is there. You can also trade in the pity coins for, with characters that you pull that you've already had rainbowed. So chances are, if you've got a bunch of characters you're sitting on that are already rainbowed and you pull a bunch on this banner, you could potentially do as low as 500 stones and have enough to get the pity coins you need to exchange, depending on how many units you have rainbowed. Now, at this current time, we don't know if the characters summoned from the previous banner, that is Triku's banner, if those characters' trade value goes over. I suppose we'll find out when this comes over, or any yellow coins for this matter. I think it might, based on how, because I have a couple characters from the previous banner that show up in the Baba shop for me to trade for the old pity coins now. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out, but it's possible depending on what characters you have rainbowed to trade for coins. But even with that though, simply because of the timing of this banner, that's really the only situation here that hurts this banner. The timing of this banner, and knowing that there's a major sink on the horizon, I still can't even give this a thumbs up for the banner itself, even though there's a lot of good things happening for it to help you summon along the way. So, unfortunately, that's a no for this banner. That's a no for the character. So, let's look at what lies ahead. If you jump into this, what are you giving up? So immediately in the near future, at the end of the month, we'll be getting the STR, Gohan, and Piccolo celebration. Now, in my personal opinion, this banner is far more valuable than the Ribrianne banner, but that's, that's a subjective thing, right? Because the Gohan and Piccolo are so good, Turles, his value has skyrocketed thanks to the new blue zone. There's a lot of enemies that he can be beneficial against in that fight that are like Goku's family, which he needs. So very, very good there. Bardock, obviously not that great, but Yamcha still really, really good, provided he gets his dodges. So, and then these guys are simply amazing for a banner unit. So this banner is pretty valuable, but this banner exists right before the Saiyan Day, so maybe not a big summon banner, but I did want to point it out that it is the next banner after that. Following them, we will get the Saiyan Day banner. Now, we don't know who the Saiyan Day unit is, but it will return the God Goku from last year's banner, and of course bring back, for the first time on Global, the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku. So this banner is probably the biggest value banner, assuming the unit is as good as God Goku, which no reason to believe he won't be. This is probably the next big value banner for global players up until Golden Week, and maybe Golden Week and then Anniversary itself. So if you were to summon on a banner before Anniversary, then of course this may be the place. Now, the next two Dokkan Fest following this will be the New Year's Dokkan Fest from JP. This will be the Hirudegarn and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Both insanely valuable banners, right? Goku's banner has Goku, who is phenomenal. Piccolo Jr., Ultimate Gohan, right? Like, there's an argument for Super Saiyan 3 Goku as #1 TUR. I mean, let's be honest, he's good. And then, obviously, Beast Gohan's value is about to skyrocket up. Following that, Hirudegarn obviously going to get really, really good with the addition of more movie boss characters. We've got, number 1, number 2 LR in the game, the Orange Piccolo, 23rd World Tournament Goku, right? Like, these are some pretty good banners. However, all of these characters are likely to be on the worldwide banners following the Anniversary, which will be the biggest summon after Anniversary itself. So realistically, this is a banner you may not be spending for, so you won't necessarily be giving up much if you summon for Ribrianne, because, I mean, really these characters you should be saving for Anniversary, right? Or worldwide. Now, following that, we don't know what we're going to get for Golden Week, but, I mean, if it's on the level of Piccolo Jr. and Goku, know that they could be really good. But Golden Week is hit or miss. This is the first Golden Week where the units were far and away some of the best units in the game. In years prior, they were just kind of, yeah, they were there. They were good, but they weren't anything to go out of your way for. So this one is kind of hard to say, but know that it's possible they could be on the level of Piccolo Jr. and World Tournament Goku. Following their banner, we don't know what we're going to get. This will be the post, the Dokkan Fest that is post-Anniversary, so we won't know what that happens until it happens on JP, but last year it was the 17 and 17. And no matter what it is, really, it's a big old fat skip, right? Because this is the banner right before Anniversary, so you don't want to be spending there. Now, of course, if you managed to make it this far, we know that the next big banners are the banners that everyone wants to save for. The Gogeta and the Broly, the best value banners in the game, right? Gogeta's banner bringing back Trunks again, bringing back Gohan, bringing back Metal Cooler, some good featured LRs as well, right? The UI Goku, who's getting his EZA, the Broly, who's Trio, who's getting their EZA, who are really, really good. So, I mean, honestly, you ought to be spending most of your stones here. Following with that, the Broly's banner obviously going to be really good. His banner unit We got Broly, who's amazing. Fusamos returning, the Z duo, right? The 5th year LRs who are really good. And then Blue Kaioken Goku, who they have, and Vegeta, who got their EZA, and they are phenomenal, right? Like, these are just some insanely valuable banners that are only going to be surpassed by the banners following them, which will bring Beast Gohan and the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Beast Gohan's banner is going to be the opposite of the Broly banner. It's going to have all the opposite units, so it's going to be just as good. The Gamma banner is going to have all the opposite of the Carnival banners, plus a few extras, and there's a good chance Ribrianne is going to be on their banner as well, seeing as how Triku was on the Gogeta banner. So really, knowing all of this that is coming, I still can't even give it a thumbs up, knowing that there's just so many good things coming in the future. And realistically, as a global player with the gift of foresight, we can, instead of spending stones on this banner here, as enticing as it sounds with those guaranteed features and your pity coins, realistically, you're better off saving it for those amazing anniversary banners. Remember, we talked about if you're saving completely, you could have upwards of 1,500 stones by the start of the anniversary, and I'm pretty sure you would all rather have your stones spent on the Beast Gohan or the Gogeta or Broly banners, right? So there is one last thing to note, that there are tickets available, so if you're pay to play, low to play, maybe throw the tickets at it. But even then, I don't even know that I would throw the tickets at it, because your better value is actually through those guaranteed features. So, you know, that's a judgment call on your part if you're a pay to play, low to play player. Personally, I would go the stone route, but again, I don't know that I even want to spend the stones knowing that, right? I would rather just save those for the anniversary. So, guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And, you know, I just gotta say, this is one of the few banners that gets a complete no from me, even though the banner is dropping, you know, by 8:30 later tonight after this video drops. We're definitely going to have to really watch the stones on this one. I do not recommend anybody summon on this one, but if you do, let me know in the comments down below how your summons went. Let me know where in the future you plan on summoning, and if you do plan on spending any stones between now and anniversary. And if you did decide to summon on this banner, let me know why. I'm curious what drew you to this banner. Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.